Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of this short series that we are doing during the Euros to talk about Madridistas in action. And we are recording this after Group B's game because we had just one player feature in the Spain game, that too for 15 minutes. So we'll briefly discuss that before we talk about Group C, which had a lot of our players. So we'll break those games down. And to do all of that, as always, I've got Kanita with me. Kanita, let's begin our chat with the drama that happened in Group B yesterday. Pretty fun. Like that group has sparked back into life after that Italy and Portugal game. We'll we'll discuss that, but let's quickly get done with the Spain game, which I think was again very fun until the 60th minute, I would say. Spain scored, then Belgium scored immediately, then again a quick fire goals in the second half, and then Spain decided that they want to win this game. So it all went to shit for Belgium. They lost 6-2, but at one point it did seem like they were going toe to toe with Spain. At least they were providing threat in terms of their set pieces and everything, and it was quite enjoyable to watch until the 60th minute. What did you make of that game?
Yeah, honestly, that game was from the start like obviously going for Spain, but football being football and the ball being round, stuff happened on the pitch, and I was like, oh my God, is Belgium like can Belgium actually like take points here? I was excited. Obviously, I supported Spain as always, but I'm like, okay, I mean, I just want the drama at this point, I just want drama. And they were going, they were 2-2 again, but like right after 2-2, like they equalized for the second time. Right after 2-2, Esther scored for 3-2. And once Spain took the lead again, they never lost it again. But oh my God, like I mean, obviously it was in their favor, but everything when the numbers and the ball on the pitch, everything. But Belgium really showed, like, oh my God, maybe we can do something. Maybe we can be the dark horse here. But in the end, this happened. Spain being Spain, they love scoring. I think this, like, I'm pretty sure that Spain will end up scoring the most goals in this tournament. So yeah,
Yeah,
love drum.
I mean, yeah, I mean, 5 goals in the first game, 6 goals in the second game, almost 7 goals in the second game. So many chances and everything. And the thing is, like, these two sides played a very close game. Like in the just a few months back, it was 3-2, and when that goal went in for 2-2, you almost felt like, okay, can this again go down? And in that game, I think Spain scored in the very final minutes to win that
Mhm.
game. It was 2-2 till the very dying minute. So there were precedents of this thing happening, and one would obviously expect, you don't see a side like Spain losing too many games. So when they are behind or when a side scores against them, it's always something to take note of. I think the goals as well, one of the goals that Belgium scored came from that set piece that was landed on the head of Van Havermaet, who is like the tallest player on any football pitch that she takes field on. So it was pretty easy. But I think Spain's defensive issues were also like quite uh, vulnerable, and they were exposed there a couple of times. You know, with Irene Paredes and Laya Alexandri, there were sort of areas that were exploited. With especially with Olga pushing up, and those areas, Woolart and company really exploited that. I quite enjoyed that, honestly. Unfortunately, Belgium are out of the competition after this loss, losing the first 2 games. But I think they put in a quite a good performance against Italy as well. I think they were very solid. Just lost 1-0, and then this game as well, they matched for a fair amount of time in the game. So yeah, kudos to them. But let's talk about Atenea. Came on in the 75th minute, I think 74th, 75th minute. Played for the
23rd.
last 73rd minute. Played for the final 15 minutes. I mean, by that time Spain were in cruising control, and she was again trying the same thing, picking up the ball, taking on players. A lot of the actions did not come through once again. So it hasn't been like the best of starts for her in the Euros. Like, she hasn't had the best of impact, and it's difficult with these performances to see that she's going to start, because that front line is a consists of Claudia Pina, who can score from anywhere. It seems recently like she can score in almost every game. uh, Mariona Caldente, who does a lot of work on the pitch, and Esther, who has been in splendid form. Like honestly, she was really good again in this game. So it's difficult to see Atenea taking that starting spot. Uh, but yeah, I mean, nothing noteworthy from her performance. Did you have anything?
No, I mean nothing new really from the first game either, and the things she tried were pretty much the same as well. And again, it was like 4-2 when she came on, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was about it. The second game, I think yesterday was quite fun. We won't get into the details, but it had everything.
Mm,
It had a banger of a goal. It had a goal disallowed. It had a red card. It had multiple woodwork hits. There was a lot of drama, and it was a late equalizer as well. So very fun game, and that has sort of thrown a spanner in the works for Group B about who is going to be the second side to qualify from there, because Spain has already, I think, qualified, and one of Portugal or Italy will make it. Italy
mm.
face Spain next, so they have a tough challenge. But Portugal, without their captain, because she got a red card, Ana Borges got a red card in the dying minutes, will have to face Belgium, who will be looking to mark this tournament with a win. So it's Group B. I'm loving it, loving the energy, loving the chaotic energy, and hopefully it should continue in the final match day as well. So let's see who qualifies for the knockout rounds. And today we had Group C in action with Poland, Germany, and Sweden, Denmark all in action. Sweden were up against Poland and Germany was facing Denmark. Germany 1-1, which, on paper it seemed like it was a close game, but I
Mm.
don't think it was that close. Honestly, I think like Germany were in control for most parts, especially in the second half. They went in the at halftime behind, trailing 1-0, but they came out in the second half and they took control and they absolutely took the game away from Denmark. I expected a bigger scoreline from Germany in this game. Honestly, I had not much hopes of Denmark, given the way they have played in the qualifiers, in the recent Nations League, and coming into this tournament. But they did some things well. We'll talk about that. We obviously had Sara starting for Denmark. Bruun was on the bench. For Germany, none of our player featured. Basically, we only have one player, Sara Dabris. She did not come on the field. But what did you make of that game in general, Kanita, before we get into the specifics?
I think that the scoreline isn't really weird for me. There was some hope for another kind of drama when Denmark took the lead, even though I knew on the surface, not really deep down. I wanted to say deep down, but it was on surface that I knew that Germany would win it. But they Denmark gave away a penalty, so that was the equalizer. But aside from the penalty, yeah, it was Germany's game, definitely. And yeah, I mean, what I'm guessing like last game, I expected a bigger scoreline from Germany against Poland. You expected a bigger against Denmark. So I mean, what is happening? Germany do better, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think a bigger scoreline will happen for them in one of those games, because you see
Yeah.
Clara Bull attacking so much and not getting any end product. I think that is not going to continue throughout the tournament. One game where one of those runs inside the box and the shot that follows will stick in, and Boo is known for those big game moments. So maybe in the knockouts, that is what I anticipate. But let's see. I think for me that game showcased some vulnerabilities in the German side that have been evident throughout Vuk's tenure, maybe, uh, which was the midfield and the transition defending. Now, transition defending in general is very difficult to coach. Not many international sides have that. but they look extremely vulnerable. You have to consider that their backline is quite weird. They have Minga, they have Nak, they have Wamser playing there. So you don't really have dedicated, very good defensive players in that backline. And when it comes to 1v1 situation or transition situation, you've got both Eliza Sense and Nuskan slightly pushed up, trying to press. They push almost 6 players up in the opposition half to sort of regain that ball and win it. But in case they fail, I think that opens up a lot of space. So a side that probably can attack it better or can play on the transition better, can defend slightly better, like Sweden, which they are going to face in the final round, can maybe hurt them, given how with Julia Gwyn's departure, that fullback positions are also now not as solid, one must think. So, given how Sweden performed in the second game with that right hand side combination, if that continues, it can be a very, very interesting game, the next one. And I think Sweden can potentially hurt Germany in ways that, uh, people don't anticipate. So it's gonna be fun. The For Denmark, I think one of the things that I noted was how they keep switching the formation when they are on ball and off ball.
Yeah.
Even off the ball as well, they follow two structures, which is when the ball is like in the opposition half or like just inside their half, they are in a 4-4-2. But as soon as the opposition gets into the final 40% of the pitch, they shift to a 5-3-2, which is quite, I don't know. I don't understand why they do it. Just start with the 5-3-2 at all times, because that shift in formation leaves gaps, and that is what happened a lot of the times in the game as well. But yeah, let's talk about Sara. I think she was one of the bright spots for Denmark. Uh, she has a lot of responsibility playing as that wing back in that 3-4-3 or whatever formation Denmark usually play with the wing backs. She's attacking, she's defending, she's getting in the box, getting shots. Pretty impressive performance once again, I would say, from her. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, with Denmark, the wingbacks have their really a lot of work to do. And yeah, she did well in stopping danger in on the wide areas in defense. And she's really good at blocking um like crosses from even
Yeah.
happening. And she knows how to follow the ball. And yeah, I loved her. And then I love how she went through the left hand side. But yeah, I mean, I don't the actual like whole play of Denmark today and connecting it with Sara, I can't really say much there. Just Sara individually was good at defending, and yeah, I don't have many more comments really.
Yeah, I think Sara did her job. She was, even when Denmark are defending in a 4-4-2, she's usually like up front. She's playing in
Mm.
that midfield line and trying to, look for opportunities to jump into attack and then do her bits. So I think she did her job well. I think Denmark initially were trying to attack that space in behind German line, because when they push up, there is spaces in behind that back line. So they were trying to do that. That is how a lot of the times they managed to enter the final third as well, direct from the goal kick, which was very fun to watch initially in the first half at least. They did do quite well, I would say. But in the second half, like, it completely vanished because Germany knew what they had to do. They had their wingers dropping in midfield to create that numerical advantage, and it was very easy. Like, once they would have their fullback pushed up, which would suck in Denmark's wingbacks, and then one of the wingers would just drop in there, receive, and turn and carry the ball. That is what Clara Bull did so many times in that game. She was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I mean, apart from that, then Bruun also got on in the second half, and I think whenever Bruun is on the pitch, if there's a cross coming in inside the box, she is going to throw herself at it. Doesn't matter if that cross is like 20 feet high, she doesn't care. She's going to jump for it and she's going to fight for it. And that is what she did. And you have to give it to her. Like, Denmark weren't creating many opportunities, so sort of creating that chaos in the box and going for even half chances is what you want from your striker. And yeah, I mean, I think she did what she could from however much ball she had. But yeah, I mean, nothing noteworthy. Did you have anything on her?
No, really the same thing, but I love when she goes for
Yeah.
any sort of headers. Like even like I know even the club, even if it's the low header, if it doesn't make sense to just dive in, she just does it with the head. So always like
Yeah.
any type of header, high, low, always headers.
Yeah. If the ball is in the air, even a feet above, even 2 feet above the ground, she is going to throw her head at it to try to score. It's very endearing to watch her do that, and you know that you are going to get it no matter what. So it's nice. But yeah, Denmark are out of the tournament. They haven't had a win yet, and it's maybe in the final game they do get one against Poland. But given how Poland played in the first game against Germany, if they do that, I think it's going to be difficult for Denmark. So let's see what happens in that final game. But let's talk about the other game from Group C, which was Sweden against Poland. Poland ended up losing 0-3, and Sweden, all three headers, just absolutely demolished Poland in a lot of ways. There was a lot of talk about Poland being a disciplined side in the first game, defending in a very tidy manner, very organized. Uh, I think that all went away in this game. What did you make of the game in general?
It's quite funny that all three goals ended being headers because the game started with well, the header is hitting woodwork. First Aslani,
Yeah.
then Blackstenius also hit the woodwork. I don't know what happened. Like, is this another one of the Group C games where we just see woodwork getting hit? I don't know. Like last time it was Germany, now it was Sweden. But yeah, I mean they ended up scoring 3 goals, and I mean, listen, I'm just glad. Listen, I know she's our former player, but man, like Kose got a goal and assist. She assisted Stina in the first goal and then scored the second one. I mean, great thing. Honestly, I love watching her football and I love watching her for Sweden. So yeah, I mean, they're qualified. Obviously, Sweden is qualified for what the round of yeah, and I I mean, it was in Sweden's favor. I just want to add another comment. I don't know what was happening with those random calls for some fouls that, like, for example, Aslani's yellow card was like a double fault by Payor there, but instead Aslani got a yellow and like stuff like that, like some things that weren't even fouls were called. I don't know, like refereeing was, another thing in this game, just something that I wanted to point out. But yeah, also a lot of physicality from Poland there. Very interesting to see physicality over Sweden. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, you spoke about Aslani there. She was making her 20th appearance at the Euros, which is crazy because only one player has made more appearances at the Euros, which is Birgit Prince. And if she goes to the semis, she'll have that record as well to her name. So, she was again brilliant. I think she now has the most assists by any player if we look at it from 2022 edition as well. So in the last two editions combined, no player has had more assists than Aslani, which is like, she just loves these international stage. She's always there. I think even on that first assist that she got for Blackstenius's goal, you
Mm.
know, a lot of the players would try to play the low ball, but she played that chip, which created that header, which threw the defense off. It was really good. Her runs, I think that right hand side combination between Angeldal, JRK, and Aslani was absolutely undid everything Poland were trying to do. They would just combine, Angeldal will place herself in the half space. JRK would receive the ball out wide, play it inside, then Angeldahl would either find JRK in behind or have Aslani making that sort of run and she'll find her. So that combination was absolutely everything for Sweden, and I think teams going to play them next time should obviously keep an eye for that, and especially Germany. Given that they have a right-footed left back playing for them, I think this right side combination, if it starts to work, it's going to be very difficult for Linder and Naak to deal with, and they would need especially a lot of midfield support to sort of block that. So I'm looking forward to that battle as well. But apart from that, in that game, we had Angeldahl, obviously absolutely brilliant. Again, I'm not sure how she did not score there, with one of those free kicks. Again, a
Again.
brilliant free kick once again. Does not score, but yeah, I mean, I think that one of those will go in. But brilliant performance, winning the ball, covering a lot of the field, creating a lot of pre-assist, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
she did not have those final balls, but she was creating the balls that led to those final balls, which was amazing. Very solid performance from her and Kose. I think those two were the standout, and obviously JRK also had a really good game. She had their left back on skates there, which was it was quite something to watch. When she runs in behind, it's very difficult to catch her given her pace and everything. So yeah, I think Sweden completely dominated. In the first half, I think 50% of their over 50% of their attacks came from that right hand side, and it was very evident that Poland need to do something or it will be a big trouble, and it was big trouble at the end. So Poland unfortunately still haven't scored in their first ever Euros. So the first two games they haven't scored, and I think that makes them the first side to fail to score in their first two ever games at the Euros. And hopefully they came close. They hit the post, and I was hoping that it went in towards the end, because they were putting in a lot of effort. You can see that they are putting in effort. They are trying to defend with 10, but then whenever they get the ball, try to attack and play Eva Payor through, but it just wasn't happening. But yeah, pretty fun game. I would say, if you're a Sweden fan, which I think one of the person that listens to us constantly is, I think Kira
Kirat,
commented as well
yeah.
that yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was fun. But yeah, Angeldal great. Then we had a little Bennison cameo as well towards the end, which is, I'll give it to you first. What did you notice about Bennison? Because I know you mentioned her before we started recording this. So what did you make of her performance?
Yeah, I mean, there were like a couple of moments that stood out for me. I mean, there was the one giveaway and another one, another giveaway, but it was a longer one. She like tried to like trip a pass like forward, but it went nowhere. And I was like, okay, I mean, why? And then Poland went to attack after that. I mean, I don't know, like it was like that. That second like a chip attempt was kind of weird. Like, why did she even make this decision? It was like she wasn't even looking, something like just to send it away. But yeah, I mean, I was a bit confused by her, not gonna lie. I don't know if it's concerning or not, just a bit confused.
I mean, I think it's her play style. I think she likes to play those risky balls. She will, she has a great vision. So she can spot those runs, she can spot those lanes, and she'll always try to pick them. I think that is going to be the case whenever she plays for Real Madrid as well. And I honestly would love for her to do that, because she has that ability to break lines, and it would be stupid of us to not let her do that. It always comes with a risk. Players who attempt high risk pass usually have a very high turnover rate as well. So she will turn the ball over, but I think if even if she's able to pull that off 6 times out of 10, I think I'll take those odds as well. So yeah, I understand the slight concerns about her losing the ball, but I think that is just her play style. But yeah, so that makes Germany and Sweden the two teams to qualify from Group C. who will be facing each other in the final match day to decide which team finishes top and which team finishes second, which is going to be a pretty important thing heading into the knockout stages. So it's gonna be a very fun match day 3, I would say. And yeah, that is about it for this one. We will be back tomorrow because France is in action and we have Lacrar and Toletti in action. So let's see what that brings. And yeah, what has been your favorite moment so far at the Euros? And you can write that down in the comments. We'll read it. And yeah, until next time, Hala Madrid.
Madrid.